My name is Joyce Rockwood, and I'm a gut health coach and essential oils wellness advocate, and I support people in experiencing the best health of their lives. So, I discovered essential oils about 5 years ago, so about 2014, and they have become a very integral part of my practice. They allow me to support my clients, no matter where they are in the world, with safe, effective, and natural remedies to bring their body back into balance. And I love them because they smell amazing, kids love working with them, and they're very easy to integrate into any family care practice on a daily basis. Essential oils are pure plant extracts. So the way I love to describe them is that they're a very safe and natural form of healthcare because they integrate completely with the body, kind of like drinking a veggie juice. The minerals and the enzymes support the cells in functioning better. They cleanse the body, they give the body what the body needs, and then they move through the body efficiently. So essential oils do the same thing. They don't accumulate in the body. You don't build up resistance to them. They have no side effects. They only have side benefits. And they allow the body to come back into balance when the body might be a little bit out of balance, sick or ill, or there's a tummy ache or some anxious feelings, or maybe some head tension or some skin irritations. Essential oils are super easy to integrate into your daily life. We use them aromatically in a diffuser, or just putting a drop in a palm and breathing it in. We use them topically on the skin to bring the skin back into balance. And some of the oils are even safe to take internally with the grade that we work with. Essential oils are fun to work with, and they're really easy to integrate into nearly any modality. So a lot of pediatricians love working with them because they're very safe and effective and natural. And for a lot of pediatricians, they like to bring that in as a first option before we might go to something that is more pharmaceutical. But that's up to the individual, and they allow the body to come back into balance when the body is feeling a little bit less than whole. And I find that a lot of practitioners like working with them because a lot of parents like the idea of trying something natural first. So one of the most common misconceptions about essential oils is that they're woo-woo, right? They're used by witchcraft or things like that. But they're not. They were actually nature's first form of medicine. Hippocrates used oregano with his patients, and frankincense and myrrh were some of the most common oils that were used by Jesus. And whether you're religious or not, essential oils have been around for thousands of years. And this is a scientific, an aromatic science. So we're working with science here. We're working with a lot of research and a lot of backup for the effectiveness of how the oils work on a cellular level. And so I would say one of the most common misconceptions besides that is that all grades are the same. But the truth is that no two grades are created equal. When we talk about the grades and the different grades of essential oils, we have to look at the way in which they work and the way in which they were actually distilled. That's a really important part of the process of how we get to work with essential oils that are safe and effective, and even some of the oils that we work with that might be used internally. So the distillation process is very scientific, it's very mapped out, and it's very intricate. So the amount of hours it takes to distill certain oils is longer than others, and sometimes there are companies, unfortunately, out there that are cutting corners and trying to save money by not doing it to the precise measurements that one would expect to get the level of effectiveness from an essential oil that you would expect. So when we're talking about the grades of essential oils, what we want to look for is something called CPTG if we're looking for the safest and the most effective form or grade of an essential oil. A lot of the products out there on the market might say organic, they might say therapeutic, but unfortunately those oils are not suitably tested, which is why a lot of those oils on the side of the bottle might have things like only used topically or only used aromatically. But the oils that I have chosen to work with are a certified pure therapeutic grade The company happens to be called doTERRA, and I trust them implicitly as a practitioner for myself and for my clients and patients that I work with. And the reason I trust them so implicitly is because of the extraordinary levels that they are dedicated to throughout their testing process. It's 24 different tests. There's a third-party testing. There's a third round of testing after that, and then there's 3 stages of testing during the bottling phase. And so the essential oils will only be bottled when they pass all of the very high stringent markers for that particular oil. So a lot of times when we're looking at essential oils, we might be looking for something that's familiar, and the most familiar word that we have in the United States is the word organic. It's the best thing we have, right? It's not necessarily the best, but it's the best that we have. The reason I say that is because organic doesn't really require a lot of testing after the produce, the lettuce, the turnips, the beets, the bananas are grown. But when we're working with CPTG, Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade, what we can rely on is that these essential oils are tested after they are distilled, so that we know that they are free of pathogens, no harmful contaminants, and no fungicides or pesticides that would get in the way of the effectiveness that you'd be looking for with an essential oil. What's really exciting about essential oils is that there's an oil for everything. And that makes my job really easy, and it makes your healing process really so fluid. And what I love about essential oils is that even if you don't love the smell of one, or your kid or grandkid or your niece or nephew is not crazy about the aromatic constituents or aromatic smell of an oil, we can use it in a variety of ways where smell is not even being involved. And there is such a broad spectrum of oils to work with. But what I also love about them is that you can work with one oil for maybe 20 different health applications. So you really don't need a lot of them on hand to have the effectiveness. There's 3 ways that we work with essential oils. The first way is aromatically. And one of the ways you can use them aromatically is by putting a drop in your palm and rubbing your palms together and just breathing them in. It's a little bit more efficient to have a diffuser. This is one of the tools you're going to want to have on hand to work with essential oils effectively in your own home. So it's very simple. We just lift the lid of the diffuser and we fill it with water. And then we add in a couple of drops. 2 to 4 drops is typically enough when we're working with CPTG grade, because these are very pure and very potent. And you're just putting them in the water, and they're emitting right in the air in microscopic form. And so what we breathe in affects our mood, it affects the respiratory system of the littles, it affects their mindset, it affects their immunity, and it affects the way they sleep. The second way you're going to work with oils in your own home is topically. Now, sometimes, as we say, we just put a drop in the palm and rub palms together and breathe it in, but oftentimes it's more efficient to have the oils in a roller. So when you have them in a roller, you can just roll them right on the skin. This is a blend called Breathe, which is great for respiratory support, so you can roll it right on the chest or on the back where the lungs reside. And then the child, or you, can breathe the essential oils in, because I already smell them. They're diluted with something called fractionated coconut oil. In a bottle like this, we might only have, for young ones, 1 or 2 drops. For teenagers, we might have 3 or 4. The rest of the bottle is filled with something called fractionated coconut oil. And if you've never heard of that, no worries. It doesn't have the fatty chain, which means that the essential oils go right on the skin super fast. When we rub that in, there's no greasy residue. They absorb really quickly into the bloodstream, and you get amazing effectiveness right away. Which also means the kids or you won't get them all over your clothes. No staining, which is wonderful. And then you have the effectiveness going right into the bloodstream for an immediate response. And if there's any kind of rash or irritation on the skin, they can be used topically for anything like that. You can also use the oils topically if you're just trying to elevate mood, right? Because we can just breathe them in right from the palms or the wrists, or if there's any kind of injury on the skin, we can use them topically for any kind of bruises or abrasions. So when we work with essential oils, we're going to find that with the CPTG grade, medical grade, a lot of them are safe to take internally, which is one of the other reasons why I love them, because they allow us to work with different oils for targeting different body systems. So for example, if someone had a little bit of an upset tummy, for someone who's really young, we might just take a toothpick and dip it in the peppermint and swirl it in some water for them to drink and calm their upset tummy. And the way we know if we can take an oil internally with the CPTG grade is we just look right on the side of the bottle, and if we see the words essential oil supplement and then we see supplement facts underneath, we're good to go. If you don't see supplement facts, that means you're going to want to use that oil aromatically and topically, but not take it internally. So when we're working with essential oils, we of course want to mention some safety precautions, such as getting essential oils on the fingertips and then rubbing the eyes. That could cause some eye irritation. So it's probably best, if you have little ones, to put the oils right on the spine where they might not be touching, or on the soles of the feet. Right? So if an essential oil were to get in the eye, a really good course of action is not splashing water in the eye, because water will actually intensify the oils. Instead, we just grab a quick carrier oil, whether it's coconut oil or a little olive oil or jojoba, and we just dot the corner of the eye and give a couple of blinks, and it will remove any kind of discomfort right away within about 3 seconds. When using the essential oils on the face, we want to be careful, and we always want to dilute our essential oils, especially for young ones. And that allows us to test for any kind of skin sensitivity. So we never want to put oils directly in the eyes. We never want to put oils directly in the ear. And if we do have any kind of ear irritations, then what we can do is we can put a drop of an essential oil on a cotton ball and place that right at the top of the ear so that it can act as a natural fumigator. So one of the most common oils you're going to find that you use in your own home is peppermint. Peppermint is wonderful if your child came home from a birthday party and they ate the pizza, the secret sauce, the watermelon, and the fried chicken, and the Doritos, and their belly was a little upset. You're going to find this works really wonderfully in calming down any upset tummies. It's also great if you're taking a family vacation and you're in the plane and all of a sudden you feel like your congestion is kicking in and your sinuses are a little blocked. You breathe in some peppermint and boom, it opens up the sinus cavity right away. And what if you needed to do a late night drive? Well, it's great for boosting energy and opening up mental focus and alertness. Another very common oil you're going to find that you use is lavender. Now, everyone knows lavender is wonderful for restful sleep or calming things down, but not just physically, really wonderful for calming things down emotionally. And believe it or not, you can even use lavender if your little one has some gas or an upset tummy. So you're going to use this one topically on the skin when there's any rashes. You might use it on the bottoms of the feet before sleep, or just rubbing a little bit on the pillow if you don't have a diffuser yet, to create a very calm atmosphere and some sweet dreams. Another wonderful application for lavender is right in the bath water. Just one drop will do, and you'll find that the little ones go to sleep really peacefully. Another very popular oil is wild orange. Wild orange is great for mood elevating. What if the little one had a rough day at school or a tough time at camp and they came home in not the greatest mood? We use wild orange to create a sense of joy and energy and a refreshing scent in the house. It's energizing and motivating and uplifting. You can also use it for a little bit of support for immunity and for digestive health. Frankincense is a very popular oil. You may have even heard of frankincense. A lot of people use frankincense for brain health, for focus. And one of the most versatile oils you'll find in the world is frankincense. We call frankincense the king of oils. And the reason for that is because we say, when in doubt, use frankincense. It has such a broad spectrum of uses. It's extremely versatile. So what if someone fell and scraped their knee, or they had some kind of a bruise? You can use it in a roller diluted with the fractionated coconut oil to elevate other oils that you might blend with it, just to create a little extra healing support. It also, believe it or not, little science, is known to elevate oxygen flow to the brain up to 28% in some scientific studies. So for having those days when there's a couple of tests or exams, or they're doing a performance on stage and they might be a little bit skittish or a little bit nervous, it's great for bringing the brain back into balance. One of the most popular essential oils that I think every single family should have in their own home is the Immune Boosting Blend, also known as On Guard with the CPTG grade from doTERRA. And this is an oil you're going to see that we're marrying a bunch of different oils, and now we have a proprietary name. The reason for that is because it addresses a very specific body function. In this case, we're focusing on immunity. The most powerful essential oil in the world is clove when we're talking about the ORAC scale, the oxidative support system of an oil, or the antioxidant support system of certain foods. We have this scale that gets to measure the potency of the food. So for example, blueberries measure 2,500 on the ORAC scale, but clove is 1,078,000. Wow, that tells you right there that it's really powerful stuff. There's some other oils in this blend, such as eucalyptus, wild orange, and cinnamon, that make it really wonderful aromatically, and you can even soak your apples in it and they won't turn brown. But what I love about this essential oil is that it's safe to use every single day. And so you can use it on the soles of the feet, you can use it in your diffuser, you can even take this one internally.